It is God's love.
Great time that our honourable Prime Minister has told, sabka saath, sabka vikas. I think that is the essence of the financial inclusion, going to the last mile. Take everybody for the while growing. That is the essence. And when we see that, I think Kerala is the best example. Kerala is the state which has declared the first state to be declared as the fully financially included state. And one more distinction they have is all the panchayats in Kerala have got bank branches, brick and mortar bank branches. And as Mr. Tenkel said, Kerala is one state where all the blocks have got the financial literacy centers. I think a good round of applause for the state of Kerala. We have a lot of applause in furthering the financial inclusion. The inclusive growth, what we can say is just sharing the benefit with all. I think that is the equitable distribution. When the morning the secretary was talking, he was telling about that the benefit should reach to the last 5%, and he should be rightfully asking for the benefit which he is deserving. I think that makes sense in the that growth process. If he is able to get that, that is the better thing. In India, what we have is the ideal thing is the demographic dividend. Then the greater domestic and international competition is there, increase in total factor productivity. What are the challenges when we see here? Inequalities in distribution and income and wealth. I think we see the greater divide between the rich and the poor. That has to be bridged. Then rapidly growing urban region and stagnant rural regions. We have talked about Madam has told about the miseries in the rural areas. Then 29% or still more are below the poverty line. That is how the things are happening. But to address this, what are the things that has happened? One of the financial inclusion initiatives, and the financial literacy, social security schemes, and the projects creating job opportunities. I think this is great. This evolution of financial inclusion, if we see, when in the country, it started with way back, though this word has come recently, in 2005-06, but it started way back when the bank nationalization took place. Then the rural branches and the service area approach came, and also the introduction of the lead bank scheme. Then establishment of RRBs. It was one of the major steps, like the establishment of payment banks and the small banks now. RRBs was one of the major steps. Then the priority credit and the lead bank schemes, and also the latest is financial inclusion PAN and the PMJDY. I think these are the very important things. As Mr. Tenkel was mentioning, I think financial inclusion includes the bank accounts to start with, then the savings, credit, insurance, remittance, and financial counseling. But here, one very important thing is, it is through the technology. Now, the technology has made a very big change in making this possible. In the financial inclusion part, when we saw, phase 1 was the Kovalam, then the phase 2 is the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which all of you know. Then the greatest enabler has been the UIDAI Aadhaar numbers. How it has been able to include these people. About 97 crore people have been enrolled in Aadhaar. And if you see the statistics, 15 crore people have seeded their account number, Aadhaar numbers to the bank accounts. That is a great help in making the DBT what we are telling about all the schemes. I think that is one thing, and it helps. Say one is direct benefit transfer, then the leakage. Government, this one, when there was a thing that out of 100 rupees, only 15 rupees reach the ultimate person. Now we can ensure that entire 100 rupees reaches the last mile person. Then the mobility and also power of identity. You will have the identity and enhance access to services. Any service, any time, he can access that service. Then, now the financial inclusion in the new format. What has happened? Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana, which our honourable Prime Minister declared on 15th January, 15th August. See there were 6 pillars. One is about access. There are no branches, physical structure, provide access for every person bank accounts. Then the financial literacy, which is one very important from the demand side, and the product side, micro credit, micro insurance, and the micro pension. Then when this scheme was launched, see there were almost 51% of the people were to be covered. You see the results. About 20.72 crores savings bank accounts have been opened, and 32 crores have been mobilized as deposits in these accounts. And the reach of RuPay cards has almost reached about 14 crores. And when the scheme was started, the number of zero balance accounts were 76%. There was criticism in the press that these accounts have been opened just to see that they are dormant accounts. But over the period, with lot of efforts, with lot of education, lot of financial literacy, these zero balance accounts have come down to almost 30% now. That's a great achievement. And as Madam was mentioning about the social security schemes, one very important thing here is the social security schemes at very nominal rates. We are providing the insurance to the vulnerable class, but it is through the technology. Through you open an account, you get the details over the soft electronic data, then your premium is automatically debited every time. That gives a comfort to the person. He need not see that whether my account is debited or whether my premium has gone. The moment he opens the account and gives the registration for insurance, that automatically happens. Then one more very good initiative which has Government of India has taken in financial inclusion to bring all is the Mudra scheme, wherein almost now 95,000 crores has been disbursed for almost 30 lakh, 2 crore 22 lakh beneficiaries. That is one great achievement which again addresses, as Madam was telling, the last mile vulnerable customers like small retailers, shopkeepers, women entrepreneurs, manufacturing and service entrepreneurs, skill development entrepreneurship. Because these people, almost 5 crore people, were not at all funded through the formal financial system. These people have been able to come into the formal financial system. And financial inclusion, how it has helped through the Digital India. Morning we have seen how Digital India campaign has helped. In that, ICT initiatives has definitely helped in bringing more accounts, more transactions. Then Make in India campaign for the micro enterprises and the bigger enterprises. Then Startup India. Startup India is one thing which now Government of India has told for the banks. Each and every bank branch has to identify one entrepreneur from the classes SC/ST or the lower middle class, and they should assist them in making an enterprise, starting an enterprise, and fund them for that. Then Skilling India campaign is also going on, wherein the unemployed youth in the rural and urban areas are provided proper skills so that they can be either given wage employment or self-employment opportunities. Here I would like to give one example of Canara Bank, wherein we have seen the greater financial inclusion efforts have yielded results. Chitradurga is one of the districts in Karnataka state, which is one of the backward districts. Government of India had identified this as backward district and for SHG bank linkage program. We identified this and we entered an MOU with one of the NGOs to formulate self-help groups and fund them. When we started in 2012, there were very few groups in that. Now at the end of the year, now almost 14,639 SHGs were formed and 14,100 SHGs were credit linked. More than that, what is interesting is about 10,464 fixed deposit accounts from these people, amounting to about 13 crores, and RD accounts. That means we have been able to give the financial literacy to these last mile people who have been able to link with the banks and make that happen. Then increase in the income level. When we made an assessment, the increase in the income level has improved from 125 to 450 rupees per day. One more very important thing is the alternative sources, what we are telling, they depend only on the farming. Here the dairying was given as the alternative sources, and about 90 milk cooperative, producers cooperative societies have been formed in the district. And in the last 3 years, there is no overdue, no default, and it is 100% recovery. I think the women of Chitradurga district deserve a clap for that achievement. Yeah, especially. And here, anyway, this real challenge is there, last mile delivery. But technology has enabled this last mile delivery either through ICT or even core banking or many other initiatives which we have seen in the morning. What is important for the last mile thing? One is availability of the structured customer-centric products, as we have seen. Accessible. It should be accessible for the people anytime. They should confident that I am having that. Then affordable. In the definition itself, when Mr. Tenkel was telling that it should be affordable credit. Unless it is affordable, people would not come. And acceptable. Then approachable. People should feel that I am confident to go to a bank branch. I can ask the branch manager that yes, I can ask a loan rightfully. That sort of approachability should be developed to have this last mile connectivity. And what are the last mile limitations? What we have seen is about the e-commerce or the m-commerce, whatever thing is happening. Though it is seen as on a larger scale, but as we have seen in the morning, people talking that the penetration in the rural areas because of the connectivity and the awareness, it is very less. If we are able to address that connectivity issues and awareness issues, even those last mile customers also can join this campaign of e-commerce and m-commerce. Here, how the last mile connectivity in the banking has been successful. Now, entire country has got almost 1.25 lakh bank kitras serving at the doorstep of the households. They have a handheld machine, and through Aadhaar enabled or through debit card enabled machines, they do transactions. And now per week, across India, almost 50 lakh transactions happen per week. And almost 50,000 transactions happen through the debit cards, RuPay debit card. That is a great change. And 2.42 crore IMPS transactions, which has been started by NPCI, is happening. And all those, when the secretary was telling that USSD, I think USSD is also extensively used in knowing the balances, in making the transactions and interactive transactions. For inclusive growth, I think these are the things which are very much necessary. One is when we make that, when we want to see that inclusive growth is there are various components of, say, it starts from savings, then ends up with lending, and also various other technology products like mobile wallets or the transactions or stored e-value money. And now when these small banks and transaction payment banks are coming, they are coming out with all these type of products so that it is made helpful to the, I think, creating a great lot of competition in the rural areas also. What is the way forward? I think we have been seeing that this seamless connectivity to all the areas through the broadband connection, because connectivity is one deterrent which is making this not reaching the many people in the remote areas. If the connectivity improves, definitely this will. Then implementation of interoperability by all banks, interoperability with any customer of any bank, even in the rural areas, he can go to any BC and transact his account or transact the business. That is one thing. And account portability also from between the banks and among the banks. Debit card to every account holder. When we are talking about the cashless society, even now in the rural areas, people, though ATMs are there or even the BC bank mistras are there, people depend on cash. But in order to see that they move from cash to cashless transactions, I think debit card, if they have and if they taste the success, definitely it will be there. Then technological integration, warning, the madam was also telling that seamless integration of these technology interfaces have to be developed. Seeding of Aadhaar numbers in all accounts. Aadhaar number, because the Supreme Court judgment, there was some laxity in improving that. I think now with legislation coming, definitely it will improve and it will make all the DBT transactions, other type of transactions very helpful, and making Mitra, Bank Mitra a viable model. When we are seeing that the Akshaya Kendras and other Bank Mitras are doing good business, I think with viability, these people would be definitely able to contribute good lot in improving the last mile connectivity and help the small farmers, marginal farmers and the women in the rural areas to get a smile on their face and to get a better income. I think with that I will